All right, guys, welcome back to another video. It's your man Jay. We're going to be talking OnePlus today. So OnePlus finally put up on their website that they are going to be dropping the OnePlus 13 soon. Now, there are several dates on the website. Initially, I thought it was going to be January, but I went back and looked again. And they're doing like these little promos like they do of the first 500 phones and the second 500. So, interesting. They're always doing something different, you know what I mean? So it's no surprise there, but the surprise to me is how well this phone probably could do. I mean, when you look at today's market, and by the way, this is the OnePlus Open recording this video. When you look at today's market, we're always wanting the companies to do something, refreshing and new. And all the companies do the same thing. They kind of skate along this line, not too far out, a little bit here, a little bit there. Let's make it a little bit better. And this is the norm now with our society with these smartphones. They're only willing to do so much because they want a return on money. So I can guarantee you a lot of the phones sold extremely well. Some of the Android OEMs might be willing to take a risk. Like Samsung is the only company I think right now in the United States that takes any major risks. They've put out so many different phones. They brought ideas to the US and, a lot of people have followed their style and what they're bringing out to the US market. So other companies, OnePlus finally took a risk with the phone I'm recording with, was the OnePlus Open. When they brought this phone out, I knew right away I was going to buy it. And I knew right away it was going to be a phone that I probably found would be very intriguing. I didn't know that these cameras would be this great, if I'm being honest. I just kind of figured, okay, this is going to be another OnePlus phone. It'll be a high spec phone, but it'll be lacking in some areas. And sure enough, they brought the thunder with this phone. This phone is so good. I'm almost afraid to buy any other OnePlus device because if it doesn't live up to the hype of this phone and the standards of this phone, it's going to be a letdown for me. So knowing that, the OnePlus 13, I'm kind of checking out the specs here. It's supposed to have a 6.82 inch display. So basically a 6.8 inch display. 1440 by 3168. So it'll be interesting to see how well this screen is on this phone. It should be beautiful. That's a pretty big screen. I think what the more important thing on this phone is something I've been wanting to see in the United States for quite some time is a 6,000 milliamp hour battery on a mainstream phone. It seems like in the US, nobody wants to go more than 5,000 on their so-called flagship phones. But they'll give a 5,500 battery to a lower trim phone. It's so strange. That's what they've done all the years. And if OnePlus does bring a 6,000 milliamp hour battery to the OnePlus 13, it's going to be lights out. It should be lights out for a lot of other flagships. If people still use that terminology, flagships, it should be lights out in the battery department for a lot of phones. It should be. But it's supposed to have the Snapdragon 8 Elite, 12 to 24 gigs of RAM with 50 megapixel shooter, obviously. Now these specs are just what I'm kind of finding online right now. That doesn't mean that these are going to be the official specs, but should be pretty good. LTPO AMOLED display, 120 hertz Dolby Vision, HDR10 plus, 4,500 nits peak brightness. So this is something that's kind of like, really, that's going to be a very beautiful display in any situation, and especially outside. So Android 15, Oxygen OS 15 for the international version, Color OS 15 for the Chinese version. So I'm very skeptical about. I didn't pick up the OnePlus 12. I stopped at the OnePlus 10, I believe, or 11. One of those. I didn't do the 12 because, again, the OnePlus Open is so good. I mean, and I like to do a lot of videos and vlogs and things like that. And the OnePlus Open, the Hasselblad combination here and the relationship that they have, it's putting this phone at the top tier. I mean, this is one of the best foldables that you could probably get. So, if not the best to a lot of people. So I think when it comes to going back to a OnePlus slab style device, it's going to be that arena is flooded. It's saturated. There's so many phones to choose from. Recently, I've been showing you my Galaxy S24 FE, and there's so many phones that you can get for such a lower price that are going to perform phenomenal. So when you start to get into wanting to buy a high-end device, or what some will call a flagship, the limits have to be pushed. The OEMs have to do something that's very impressive. And at this point, I think most phones are competing against it from where I sit, and I have a lot of devices in my catalog. Most phones are competing against the Galaxy S24 Ultra. That phone, and we don't have to mention the S24 Plus. You do have the Pixels. I get it. You have the Pixels, but people, I think once you get to a certain point and you've bought so many expensive so-called high-end phones, there's going to be some that just stick out way above everybody else and do more for about the same price. Or if it costs a little more, it does a lot more. And so with the Galaxy S24 Ultra, it's kind of set the bill and the mark so high for a lot of people. And yeah, we all have iPhone 16 Pro Max, 16 Pro, 16, whatever. We have all the latest iPhones as well. But something about the Galaxy S24 Ultra, that phone has made its mark. And I don't think there's very many people that are going to be able to deny it. Some people have already labeled it. That's going to be their phone of the year. And I choose not to do a phone of the year anymore because I have so many phones and there's so many of them that are so good. They all do something great. It's just that the S24 Ultra does more things than most of the phones in the catalog. Now, I will be honest and say, if I were going to pick a foldable phone to put above the rest, it's probably going to be this one I'm recording with. I'm not just saying that just because I'm making this video about OnePlus. Go back and check. I've compared this phone in a lot of ways. And I mean, I can only imagine how OnePlus could improve on this phone. This is their portrait video at f2.5. I love that I have a beautiful viewfinder. The colors are accurate. It's just perfect almost. And I can't say the same about other folding phones that I have in my catalog, which is why I didn't rush out and buy the Pixel 9 Pro Fold, because of the history I have with Google and the way their video cameras work. Now, their video cameras are actually pretty good, but they're not this good, not by a long shot. And I hate to say it. Somebody asked me recently, yeah, I won't get into that, but nonetheless, OnePlus has the edge to me personally when it comes to folding devices. This device is just that good. And it's going to come down to what you're actually using it for. So for a situation like this, if you're a creator or just a person who wants to film something for their website or for their church, it could be anything. These cameras, you're looking at them. These cameras to me are top notch. And this is 1080p. Because again, not everything is perfect. It would be nice if they can go to 4K portrait video, which I'm sure they will. And I'm wondering if they will do that with the OnePlus 13. But the OnePlus 13 is going to have a 50 megapixel f1.7, supposedly rumored, 50 megapixel f2.6 for the telephoto lens, and a 50 megapixel f2.0 for the ultra wide lens. So Hasselblad obviously is going to be on board. 8K recording at 30 frames per second, 4K 60, 1080p 480. So it's got Dolby Vision, Auto HDR, a bunch of different things in here. 32 megapixel front shooter. And that's a 21 millimeter wide lens, supposedly. Just keep it as a rumor at this point. The recording this video, we're still at the beginning of November or December. So we're at the beginning of December. So supposedly on their website, remember, I told you they have like this section where they're going to sell 500 of the phones on December something, middle of December. So it's going to be interesting. But you've got stereo speakers and, no headphone jack or anything like that, but, stereo speakers. Bluetooth 5.4 should be a thing. Now, you can actually buy the OnePlus 13 right now, the international version. But, I was waiting patiently to see if it would launch in the US. So 100 watts wired charging. I'm pausing for dramatic effect. 100 watts wired charging. It's crazy. And then it should have 50 watts wireless charging. So this is something that's going to be, wildly impressive. Just reading the specs probably doesn't do enough for it. Getting it in hand and actually using it, that's where the real excitement is going to come. And I'm considering. I see that there's several different colors. There's a blue, a white, and a black, or like a dark gray color. It should be okay. I like the blue or the white. If that is white, like a silver white color, I like that. It just depends, because I know the current model OnePlus is going to go on a deep sale, and that's still going to be a very clear option for a lot of people. But I'm ready to experience something that I think will be. I want them to top these cameras, and I want them to do better than this device. Now, I know this is a foldable device, but I want them. This is my OnePlus device currently right here. Now, I have several other OnePlus devices, but this is the OnePlus device for me. This thing is unbeatable in the camera department from a lot of phones from where I sit. Just doing this scenario right here, it would be so different if I put other phones up there. It would be, the color representation would be different. The portrait or the bokeh effect would be different. It could be anything. The saturation, it could be so many. It would be a whole nother a ball game if I put a different phone up here. I've done it multiple times. I just personally like how this portrait, and you harp on portrait video. I like portrait video. When vlogging, I like portrait video. I think it's the best way to vlog. And when I compare all the portrait videos that I've done, this is like one of the top notch ones. And I haven't taken this phone outside yet and did any vlogs with my cars and stuff like that. Recently did that with the S24 FE, and it was beautiful, man. I mean, it is freaking beautiful. So I'll take this phone out and I'll take it on some adventures when I shoot the cars. But I'm pretty excited about what OnePlus can do with the OnePlus 13. And I don't know how well a lot of you have been following OnePlus, but I've been purchasing OnePlus devices since they launched, and I'm pretty impressed with them. I think that they've done well over the years. They may not get a lot of the US support that I think they should have, but once they launched on T-Mobile back in years back, that's when they kind of took off and started to really make their mark in the United States. But now that their feet are planted, they can pretty much do what they want to do. And I think OnePlus should really capitalize on the 13, just being other than some high-end feature-packed phone. It's got to bring the noise to really shut down, to me, a target of like the Galaxy S24 Ultra. This phone, this Galaxy S24 Ultra is probably, I know we see a lot of people with iPhones and things like that, but reality is there's a lot of people, and this is one of my daily drivers. This has a software update. Like I said, yeah, they've really got to step their game up. That's one thing about my OnePlus is that is not on par with other companies, and it's the software updates. It's a very slow roll with the software updates on OnePlus, but nonetheless, I'm still using the devices because I think it's more than just a software update. Unless it's a major OS change, I can live with it. This phone is now on October or November, I believe. But it took a long time to get there. I mean, there was none in between for me. It just went straight to, I think, November or October, one of them. And I was like, wow. But I don't really trip too much on software updates. As long as my phone is working and it's not a major update, then I'm okay with it. But again, I think OnePlus, if they do it right, it's not so much. This phone has an S Pen, and it's beautiful in so many ways. But even this phone, to me, the cameras don't stand up as well in portrait mode to this phone. Now, it does have the filters and things like outside. This phone is phenomenal, but indoors it lacks in some areas. And I like this video production better. And that's just personal preference. I'm not saying that it's official, but still, I think this is the slab phone to beat. Period. And I can only imagine what the 25 version would look like if they do one. But nonetheless, I think OnePlus can knock some phones off the title, take a title from S24 Ultra, because OnePlus has always had the specs, but the community is not as well known, and you don't see too many OnePlus commercials on TV, and you don't see a lot of people with OnePluses. In fact, I see more people with Pixels out in the real world and hardly ever run into somebody with a OnePlus. It's saturated with Samsung phones and iPhone and Apple phones, but there are several Pixels out there now. I'm starting to see a lot of Pixels. I'm talking about like BlackBerry days. Remember when all you saw was BlackBerries? Yeah, that's kind of how it is right now with Samsung and Apple. All you see is Samsung and Apple phones, and Pixels are now really getting going. So I hardly ever run into someone with a OnePlus device. When's the last time you saw someone with a OnePlus open or just a OnePlus device and you noticed it? Very, very slim pickings. So when the OnePlus 13 drops, I think it's going to be I think what hurts the OnePlus is their launch. It's been like this for years. OnePlus launches are horrible. They don't just release their phones. It's like they want to make their money back, or they don't want to lose money. And that is why I think they're not as popular or widespread like other companies. They're not willing to take certain risks, and that hurts them. So, when you talk about OnePlus and you don't see a lot of them, that's because they're not producing a lot of them. And if they are producing a lot of them, I don't know, they're not selling in the US very well. Compared to their opponents. They're selling well more than likely, but not like Samsung or Apple or Google. Google has really picked up the steam. I see Pixels everywhere now. So when OnePlus decides to drop their phones, they typically make a bad decision in doing so. Remember their invite system and all this nonsense? I know it was just to draw hype, but eventually that frustrated some people, and people just kind of turned away and said, man, screw this. I don't know how good this phone is. It may be good. It may cost less, but I'm turning the other way. And they never got a OnePlus. So when they made the deal with T-Mobile back in the day, and you start to see them on carriers, that was almost a little too late, if you will, to grab a huge chunk of the world who has smartphones. So with that said, OnePlus is still kind of playing these games today. Like if you look at the website, you'll see 3 dates leading into next year. And it's kind of sad because this is the same game. Let me get my phone unlocked. Oh, wrong password. This is the same games that they've been playing for years. When are they going to stop this? And it's just coming down to them not making the money that they probably want to make. That's the only thing I can think of. Let me see if I can hit up OnePlus website and show you what I'm talking about here real quick. If I could get this, plus.com. All right. And so if you look here, they have this right here, but then they have this thing down here where it's 3 dates. They got this exclusive bonus drop and all this other stuff. And people just want to buy the phone, man. So if you look here, 500 units and 500 units on different days, that's corny. That's real corny. And I don't think a lot of people appreciate that, especially for people who are trying to switch from, you see it all the time. You see people saying, I'm switching from Apple. I'm switching from Samsung. I'm switching from whoever. I'm tired of using this brand. I want to try something new. That is where OnePlus could step in on multiple occasions. They could have done so. But launches like that, that's what hurts OnePlus. Seriously, that's what does it for them. It's a silly way to launch a device, I think. In stages, at this point in the game, you should just put your device out there and let people buy it. Give promos or whatever you want to do, but just let people buy the device and if you're that confident in your product, put it out there, let people buy it. And then if you get a lot of returns, you get a lot of returns, or you get a lot of sales, you get a lot of sales. That's what I think OnePlus is afraid of and always has been afraid of based on the way they launched their phones. So it's your man Jay. Hope you guys enjoyed. Are you buying the OnePlus 13 when it drops? I personally plan on doing it because I really want to experience the cameras and see I already know the software is going to be solid. The battery should be killing everything on the market with a 6,000 milliamp hour battery as long as it's optimized right. And then you got the Snapdragon 8 Elite. Lots of RAM. We all know that's going to be good. It should be good. It should be. Hopefully there's no those software issues and, there's no major problems with the software. But ultimately, for me, I'm just testing battery life, cameras, performance, the basics, but it's more cameras for me. I'm really hoping that they set it off with the cameras. It's your man Jay. Hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know in the comments if you're buying one. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.